Welcome to the Read 180 classroom. Read 180 is a blended learning classroom with 3 station rotations: independent learning, a computer adaptive software station, and small group learning and instruction. Students rotate twice per class period. At Olathe Northwest, we have block scheduling on Wednesday and Thursday. So students on Monday and Tuesday are in class for about 45 minutes, and on block day, 90 minutes. So students make those rotations, two rotations per day. On block day, we have time with a 90-minute block for a whole group instruction, or sometimes flexible time to do other things as needed. So on Monday and Tuesday, the students would follow small group and computer, and then on Tuesday, students would do computer and independent reading. Block day being whole group, computer, and small group, and then on Friday coming back to small group and computers. The layout of the classroom in this blended learning model has at the front of the classroom the focus on the small group section station that I have. I have a kidney-shaped table with me sitting there as the facilitator, leader, guide in that small group station. The students sit in groups with their chairs together, and I have 4 different groupings that they sit in. They also, right now, we do not have one-to-one. We have 4 laptops where students move to this station to get on the Read 180 computer application. Over in the corner is an independent reading area. Some of the students choose to independently read at their student desk, and some students like to come over and be a little bit more free with some pillows or bean bags. There's a bookcase with different books in the program. Also, we have technology iPad. That we have 6 iPads that students use during the independent reading time if they would like to do e-reads or all sorts of different types of reading that they can do online. The teacher's desk is up in here in the corner. It's just a stationary place where I can plan before and after school. Also, I have my laptop is up in this area. Sometimes I use the laptop for students who need some extra technology. And so this is usually, it says it's the teacher's desk, but many times there's an actual student there that's using that place to complete some assignment or to work. So most of the time I'm found up in here. Also, on days when I am not holding a small group session, the small group station can be used for conferencing with individual students or remediation. Maybe there's a couple students that are having the same problems or issues and would like to be addressed in a smaller group setting. So sometimes I'm working with 1 or 2 students up in the small group station during their independent reading time if they do need that remediation or extra help, or maybe enrichment sometimes if they're having questions about their reading text. The students at the very beginning of the year with the postings, and we do all sorts of different learning experiences to determine how they're going to rotate. The students are self-paced on that, and they understand their timing when they're supposed to rotate. So they don't really need the clock or the ticking. I found that it makes a noise, So the students don't really like that. So as we rotate with the times, they will go from their Read 180 computer application maybe to the small group station, or maybe on to the independent reading area, just depending on the day, if we're running an A day or a B day schedule. So the students are well aware of that. I have different things posted on the whiteboard that tell us that we are on an A day, and they know exactly what that means. The students in the classroom also have 3-ring binders that they pick up every class period when they come in, and those also have the instructions for moving through. So it's a seamless process once we get started with the school. The flipping will be taking place during the independent reading section and time and station. So the students will be able to self-pace on those flipped lessons and use their time in their independent reading, and the information and the lessons that will be done will be supplemented in the small group. The hope is that through the flipping of some of this information, I can have more time, and the students can have more time for discussion. Right now, we do a great deal of our reading of the text in our small group, and sometimes by the time we're done with the reading, that doesn't allow for very much time to discuss, ask questions, dig deeper into the text. So it would be really beneficial for us to do some of that flipped in the independent and during their free time, so they come to the small group station already equipped with the text and are ready to begin the lesson. Also, many times when we do the A and the B, then maybe it's been 1 or 2 days since we've read the text, and so there's too much time sometimes in between that, and so that will free us up. And the flipping will also free up the time that I can have to conference with the students, and will allow. The role that I have in the classroom is guide, facilitator, creator of the lessons, and just an advocate for my students. In the Read 180 classroom, I used a variety of instruction. As you can see, the room is not really set up for that. Me at the front of the room instructing. It's very circular and moving friendly with the students. The heart represents that I'm here for them, but I'm not stationed here all the time. I can move around and work with the students over here, or come over here just as easy, or maybe move within their groups and sit with them if they're working here. So while I have myself positioned here, my role is just during small group station, I sit here. But outside of the small group, I'm moving around everywhere with them, kind of guiding them. So I do have that face-to-face. During whole group instruction, I, use the space, and that is the only time when I am standing up in front of them, doing some instruction, and that is minimal in the classroom. So most of the time it's just that variety of blended learning and instruction that I'm providing for them. An important thing about the Read 180 classroom also is this instructional model, the blended learning. The flipping is being added in to enhance the curriculum. I have another teacher that teaches Read 180 within the district at the middle school level, and he is going to be a great resource for me, as I'm the only Read 180 teacher in the my building. So I'm kind of like a team on my own here with this, and I will be contacting him and using his ideas as well. But this instructional model kind of gives a little bit of a good idea on the student station rotations that we have within the Read 180. We have the student application model, and this is the computer adaptive software that the students use. The whole group learning, of course, is the minimal piece that I use within the classroom, and that's during the 90-minute block day once a week for maybe a 10-15-minute short lesson. Independent reading is the area that I'm having the problem with, the student engagement, student motivation, and I feel the flipping in this, creating that flipping and creating those lessons, I think will give opportunities for this small group learning to really be a higher level and a deeper level. So I'm really excited about that thing. But through the small group, this is where the students enjoy too. It's a small group setting, and students receive that targeted, data-driven instruction that they need. And this is the place where I also work to create these relationships with my students, because I'm able to work with them and interact with them. And then the small group setting is very positive for the students as well, because they have that lack of fear, because it's just a quiet, small group of people and they feel very comfortable. At the beginning of the year, we do a great deal of relationship building and team building and classroom building, so that the environment allows for them to make mistakes. Also, I included in my instruction last semester growth mindset, which was a really big part, and the students really enjoyed that as my action plan. And we did that during the small group learning. We incorporated some group growth mindset, but also during the independent reading, I used that to have students read success stories about all sorts of famous people, but also individual teens that they could connect with and say, yeah, that's just like me. So I'm really excited to bring the flipped classroom into our Read 180 blended classroom that is very successful, but can always be enhanced. And I believe this will be a big enhancement, and I think the students will be engaged and motivated, and I hope that I'm able to do that and bring those lessons to the students.